Oh, sorry, couldn't help it.
It kind of sounded like a cat.
You know, when you do videos like this, you tend to want to be careful when there's children around because I look like a giant Muppet. Mommy, I like the puppet. I want the puppet. No. So, for those who are tuning in now or watching kind of the repeat of the show, sorry, brain that's not working. We are coming back to you for our new season. We took our nice little summer break, and now everything is starting to flow back together, where we'll be bringing in more guests and a heck of a lot more fun. And in fact, we do the fight or flight thing. Tonight, I got one that's going to scare the bejeebers out of you women.
Oh, you think?
I do.
He said that when we had that meeting last week, he wanted to scare me.
Yeah, well, that one would have scared you for sure. But this one, I'm going to love because we're going to keep us up on one side so people can watch your reactions.
Okay.
It's not gonna give me nightmares, is it?
I can't say nothing right now.
So it's waking up screaming and stuff.
I can cause nightmares, don't forget.
I can too.
Please don't give me any.
I can too, Renee. Don't forget that.
I can haunt you in your sleep.
So
why don't you just stop over when we go shopping?
We can do that.
Please. Do shopping.
Yeah. And if you come down here, Annie's going to want to come too because she wants to steal some lamps.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so we do our nice little warm up. We small talk, have some fun as the people start to gather in, and it's going to be a different one for tonight because it's been a while since we've been on. We were going to be on last week, but things were, well, let's just say weather was not too friendly with anyone, and even now it's still not. In fact, that's actually one of the top paranormal things I was going to mention tonight, is the ultimate change in the weather. This year alone, I can't even begin to describe how bad it is. Texas got one of the most freak snowstorms and ice storms ever. Mm-hmm. People lost lives because of the ice storms and stuff, and then the power being turned off. I mean, this was just a crazy event. Then the season changed, and now we have places that are suffering more heat than they've ever seen in the history of time. What was it? I think last week Oregon hit 116 degrees.
Holy cow.
Yeah. The worst part is there's people who live there that do not have air conditioning. Mm-hmm. Because the temperatures never reach that way. Do you guys?
Over from us was 113.
Yeah.
Heat index. It was miserable last week. I was sick all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And my poor wife suffers with this heat too. You can see my face red. It's warm in here in the office right now. And it's just not getting any better. I feel bad for her, but we also learned that our entire air duct system for our air conditioning is just ripped to shreds. It's going to cost too much money to put back together. So
I was going to talk to you about that later.
Yeah, as of right now, I'm still waiting on a portable AC to come in, and then we're going to set that up. So it'll be cool. No pun intended.
Yeah, it is.
So let me ask you guys, what do you think? Should this weather, this change of patterns and everything be listed in a paranormal event?
No.
I see Renee right away with a no. What is your thought?
Well, first of all, the Earth's axis is tilted a little bit more than normal. That's the first thing. So we're going to see these temperature changes in these different ranges. It's not global warming. The next thing you're going to hear is that we're currently in, believe it or not, in a grand solar minimum. A grand solar minimum is basically an ice age. And this weather that you're experiencing is a normal cycle of the Earth. And
Normal cycle of the year.
Of the Earth, of our solar system. Yeah, of the Earth and the sun. It's a normal cycle. And we're going to experience this more wet weather, more humid weather during the hot months. But you're going to find that during your colder months, you're going to start getting longer. So your spring is going to be shorter. Your summer is going to be shorter. Fall is going to be sooner. And as we progress, so this actually started like a year or two, like 2 years ago in 2019. And there's about 20 years of this where it will start getting even colder. And we'll be in a mini ice age. And, everybody's going to be experiencing more of these storms and this unsettled weather for the next 20 years.
See, now Stella's going to love you because she said we're going to see that ice storm again this winter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thought, no, I don't think so. Not with this unseasonable heat.
I have my thoughts on that too, though. Okay. Somebody controls our grid right now. So, another country. And there will be a time here coming up within the next couple of months that everybody's going to be losing their power at the same time for at least 2 weeks.
Wonderful.
So everybody needs to be prepared. And that's why I'm telling everybody be prepared. Because we're in some upcoming rough times. Excuse me.
Now I see, Evie asks a good question as far as global warming. I don't think global warming. This is not a sign of global warming. Because this one is like totally sporadic. Now, I've heard the events where we talk about the El Nino pattern and the La Nina pattern, which is a change in how the weather pattern is. It can reverse things around, which is not uncommon. This is always happened. This, where the heat goes all the way into Canada? No, that's a first. This is not normal.
Our Earth is always changing. The solar system is always changing. This here is a normal cycle of our solar system, of our Earth, of our whole solar system, of our sun, of our moon. If you notice, the moon is even out of alignment as to what it was even a couple of years ago, right? We had, you knew at midnight it was up straight. The moon was straight above. Now at midnight, it might be over to the east, just coming up over the horizon.
Thank you. I thought I was losing my mind.
No.
No.
Couple of years ago, right behind me would be the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. You know where it is right now? Off to the east.
Yeah.
Where I call the east is like right to my left, right over, this way, whatever. I just knocked my thing over. Sorry.
Not that way.
It's the other way.
But you'll notice that even because I'm a sky watcher, and you'll notice that the last couple of years things have really gotten pretty messed up. It's totally different. So we've got our axis is tilted a little bit differently. We're in this grand solar minimum. If people don't believe it, look up grand solar minimum. NASA even a couple of years ago did it. If you want to know more about it, you could probably even Stephanie might be able to talk more about it.
Yeah, I was thinking that would get her in. We actually were planning to get her last year into the season, but there was some hiccups along the way, so we had to postpone that. So we're going to try to get her in this year as well.
Sweet.
Speaking of guests, I have to bring this back. I heard funky rumor that there is a show that started back again called, oh, what was that? Angelic Comfort?
No, Renee Live.
Really?
Renee Live, that's right. Yeah, she actually was live this week with Alan, if I recall, right?
It was actually last week
Okay,
that
see,
I was live with Ellen.
yeah,
I'm doing like Maya's home right now, so it's like kind of crunch time for me because I start a new job in a couple of weeks at her school. So this is all going to be a change, but I'm just kind of like doing it as is right now. I'm not pushing myself. I was actually sick for the past week and a half, like really sick with who knows what it was. I had Maya tested for COVID and it came back negative because she started it first. And then I came down with it, of course, a little worse than she did. And that's why I still have the cough. But it was like one of those things where I was just like, well, she came back negative. I'm not testing myself because it's just us, and she's the one who's been in school all summer, and there was an outbreak in her school this summer, the last few weeks, but her test came back negative. So,
right.
So,
EV asks a question to you, Renee. She wants to know what you think people should do with like 5 things in retrograde.
Okay. The one thing everybody has, we know we're in this division right now, right? We are in this major division, and either it be political or over the vaccine, over COVID, over whatever it is, there's a major division. And we need to bypass that. Okay, that's the first thing. We need to get over this, and we need to all start working together because with the different planetary lineups, right now Venus is aligned with, I don't know what planet right now or exactly, but Venus is lined up. So love could be really good, could either strengthen or it could weaken, whatever. We're going to start seeing more truths coming out with these different retrogrades. And if any of you have noticed, like I did a time travel about 3 years ago. And the years that I visited, I went up to 2040. What I saw in the different years, the paradigm has even shifted. So things are happening sooner than what I saw in this time travel. So what's really important is that people understand that for whatever reason, the paradigm has shifted, the energy has shifted, and we need to start pulling together because a lot of truths is going to be, like I said, come out. People are going to be in shock. People are going to be, you need to stock up on food. You need to really start loving each other again and working together and becoming families or friends or being with like-minded people, because things are going to get really rough. And if you want to take a look at it, look at what's going on over in Afghanistan right now. And I'm not gonna get into it as far as anything, but coming to a town near you soon, right? So, we need to really start focusing on loving each other and supporting each other and becoming one nation again under God or whoever you believe in, and start supporting each other and stop this obnoxious bitchiness. I don't know how to put it, not to be disrespectful, but this is awful. And I've never been more disappointed, I think, in my whole life, with people, especially here in the US, we are this laughing stock just based on our behaviors right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We've always been. So it's, it's kind of a fallacy that we always think that, we're, the big and the mighty and stuff here. But you talk to a lot of people overseas. I have a lot of friends all over the world, and they will tell you the United States for many, 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 many years has been a laughing stock because of our own actions and our own behaviors of our people.
Dude, I mean, you could just go back to the last presidential debate. It wasn't even called a debate anymore. It's called a schoolyard bullying.
Yeah.
But like you said, Renee, I won't touch the topic of Afghanistan because there's a lot of things I've seen, including some new stuff that came out today that just breaks my heart. And I can't believe we as a nation just don't stand up and start,
Here's my question.
I'm trying not to
I saw that cargo plane full of people from Afghanistan coming over before our people. And I'm glad they're bringing them over. I mean, I feel our people need to come first, but that's neither here nor there. That's just my opinion. But I look at that cargo plane and I see mostly men between the ages of 15, 16 to maybe 34 years old. Where are the women and children?
Yeah.
So there's two things that tell me.
I can answer that, but I won't do that on the air.
You're right.
Because
shouldn't it be women and children first?
It should be, but you got to understand there's certain ways that countries look at things. I'm trying to put this in the right words so I don't offend anyone, and I'm not supposed. I'm not.
Women are treated less equal. They're not in the.
They're more property.
They're more property, and their children are the same, except unless they're males. The thing is a lot of them did not have children with them.
Did you didn't see today's events, did you?
I try not to.
I didn't either, but as a radio station, we get headlines.
Yeah, I've been trying to not spend too much time on social networking, or I don't have TV. I mean, I have Roku, and I have smart TVs, but I try not to, and I watch more news clips of things that I want to see that I know are real. And a lot of the news that I do watch is from the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And I talk to my friends around the world and hear what's going on there so that I'm prepared for what's coming on here. And they do tell me. They tell me right up front, Renee. I had a call from Australia a couple of weeks ago from one of my friends we videoed, and she's like, Renee, I just got to tell you. I need to warn you. This is what's going on here. This is what I'm seeing. This is what's going on. They've shut down all our news media, except for the one they pulled it back on. But, they're under martial law last I knew, in Melbourne and in Sydney.
Yeah. Oh, dang.
Really?
And that was a couple of weeks ago. And they're forcing vaccinations. They're forcing the vaccinations.
The COVID outbreak has really taken off again.
Or
what was that? What was that, Annie?
Is that because of the COVID, or is it just because of something else? Or are they using that as an excuse?
Okay, I can tell by her reaction, Annie, that she's not allowed to say on the air.
We'll get to that after the air.
Yeah.
But she said that the U.S. is next.
It wouldn't surprise me, but then again, there's a lot right now that doesn't surprise me. So,
right.
Okay, well, let's talk about something amazing. Now, I didn't know about this. I've seen a lot of paranormal information. People have sent me these different things. I will share the link to this after the show. So when I go back and do the edit on stuff for everyone in the show, I'll put that in our links down below on the YouTube page.
Okay.
But just ahead of everyone, we don't own the rights to this. We're sharing it and we're giving credit where credit's due in the links below. But the question that came with this was parallel universe or mirage. Now, apparently, back in October of 2015, this particular sighting was seen. And before I tell you more about it, I'm going to let you hear the article that's connected with it so you can get an idea. But we're all going to see it also here together. And I want to get your responses and what you think about it, okay?
Okay.
And then we'll discuss it because it's going to have a opportunity to tell us a little bit of what's going on. And is this something we need to be looking for, or is this a new type of technology that's being tested? Here we go.
A mysterious and bizarre apparition has appeared over the skies of Foshan in China. The footage, which was recorded by a local resident, appears to show a huge city floating in the clouds. The apparition, which was witnessed by hundreds of shocked local residents, only lasted a few minutes before completely disappearing. Local news and meteorological experts who reported on the event claim the phenomena was a fata morgana or mirage, very similar to the one that occurred above a river in East China in 2011. However, others have theorized that this mysterious apparition was possibly the result of a Project Bluebeam test, or perhaps was a temporal vortex, a possible parallel universe, materializing briefly into our own reality. Until further reports and footage are released, we can only speculate at what this bizarre phenomena actually was. But it is possible, considering China's technological achievements, that a top-secret holographic technology was tested over a heavily populated city, in an effort to gauge the general public's reaction.
So we'll pause it there so you can continue to see this city in the sky. What do you think?
I think it's kind of like the Matrix.
Okay. I laugh at the Matrix part, but then Annie's got good questions for that afterwards.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Annie?
I'm with Pam. I just think it's just like weird clouds, and that's it.
I don't think we're looking at clouds.
Yeah. It's not clouds. It's kind of like the Matrix, but it's a ripple in time, basically.
No, because
you're talking about that kind of Matrix. I'm talking about seeing stuff in the clouds, or
Matrixing. Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. Okay, I want to show you something.
Okay.
Look at the behind it. You see the outline?
Yeah, it looks like it looks similar.
Yeah.
To the towers over to the left.
Like a shadow or something?
I don't know if I would say shadowing, but what I would think is this is possibly computer generated, and or is being streamed. Like how you could take a projector now and stream on the side of a building. This is what I think we're looking at. It's something very similar to that. I mean, they did show, as you listen to the video, you did see where you could see the city below, and it's still up in the clouds. Which, okay, that's interesting. But how come this news isn't really? I mean, this should be like viral news,
right?
And I've not heard this.
There's a lot of photoshopping and stuff going on right now on the internet, and we are in such a state of confusion that people are believing a lot of what they see, and not really looking in depth and picking things apart. I'm not saying that this is what this is, although it does look a little bit suspicious to me. You know, I think that, I mean, and like I said, I'm a cloud watcher, I'm a sky watcher, so I'm constantly, picking things apart and snapping pictures, and my father's into it now. Excuse me, and I've got him reading the clouds and stuff now too.
Right.
But this does look like it's matrixing. Could it be a parallel universe coming in? Well, wouldn't that be so totally cool? Because man, take me.
Right.
Right.
Take me, because it's got to be better than this shit here. I'm sorry of what
Yeah.
we're all going through and what we're about to go through.
Yeah.
Give me happy, give me peace, give me love.
Yeah. I mean,
but-
what you are seeing is like, to me, maybe like a Babylonian cityscape. Like if something we would see that they describe
Right.
Babylon from so long ago. This to me looks like that, but that doesn't mean that's what it is. It's probably, as we all speculate, some kind of computer generation, some kind of projection, because of the outlining alone tells me there's more light to this.
Yeah. No,
So-
I agree. Because you can, a lot of times in Photoshopping, you can tell,
Mhm.
whether it be pixelating or some sort of thing, things just aren't, it's never going to get it exactly right on the perimeter.
Right.
It's never.
Yeah. I have this up on an HD monitor. So it's going to show me any kind of errors. And so those are things I see, but it's still, if you can tell from just looking at it as well, it is not very clear. And granted, sure, it was taken from a cell phone back in 2015, as they claim. And I know cell phones, they've improved cameras over the years, but 2015 had still some decent cell phone camera, so you can take it.
Right.
So this to me just tells me, no, this is not that. This is definitely.
And there's so many apps out there now. Like, I mean, look at the apps where they have take a picture and get a spirit inside.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And freak people out and stuff like that. So, we're in the time of technology and dishonesty.
Yeah. Well, see, you made a great point, Renee. People want something they can touch, they can feel, they can see. But then when you take that and move it away from them, they don't believe it. They don't believe it's possible to have less or more. And so, but then they say, we have to see it to believe it. And then when they do, they say, well, I don't believe it. Now, if you've noticed, I've never taken my hand down once this whole time. So you can say, okay, I've seen that. So there's a ball in my hand, so I didn't drop it or anything. So
you ate it.
No. But the point is if I did something spectacular, you would say, oh my gosh, how? Because it's not just a belief system anymore. It's, I have to touch, I have to feel, I have to see. And so when you do, you get the granted miracle or the magic to happen. Okay? And that's how, people are working today. It's a sleight of hand situation that tells you, let me pay attention over there, and when somebody's doing something over here, and that's what I see a lot of things
it's happening. A lot of decoys. We have a lot of decoys out there right now that people are, because there's so much unbalanced, running on emotion and ego, running on instability, fear, that they're falling for the decoys. They're falling for the decoys. They're literally paying attention and believing these decoys and not paying attention to what's going on behind the scenes. And that's why I like to
the man behind the curtain. Oh,
yeah. Well, and that's it. And that's why I like to watch more of your foreign news, because it's not covered for them.
Yeah.
They
They're always
know
going to have their
exactly.
versions.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
That's
then
true.
stop looking at that. I mean, stop looking at this one or that one. Just try to keep focus on the one thing they don't want you to see.
The most important thing is to focus on yourself, right? Yourself and your loved ones. Take care of yourself. Get out of the fear, get out of the ego, get out of the emotion, get out of the reacting, and just be grounded and be in the moment. Be in the moment and take each step at a time. Don't go too far in the future, because that's when people get overwhelmed and everything else. For today, what am I going to do today to make myself be at peace within me, be at peace with my family, show that I love people, but I still love myself. I need to take care of me first, and just be in the moment, and then you'll feel your senses, you'll feel your intuition. You're going to know when something's not right, because you're not clouded. Your thought process is not clouded with all that emotion and all of the decoys and everything else, and it comes to you. You see it. Get out in nature. Be out in nature. I mean, I'm sitting out here and I don't care. I mean, it's kind of warmer out tonight, but we've had some heat waves with the rain. And it's going to rain all weekend. It's supposed to rain all weekend. So, I'm out here tonight enjoying it, and it's quiet, and I'm hearing all sorts of animals out here. And
yeah, we've been watching one behind you.
Oh, the cat. They're so funny. They love it when I'm sitting out here.
Well, okay. So Renee was talking about having to see it. Now, that brings us to a wonderful moment to go into our fight or flight moments. So for those who miss it, it's this wonderful image that says fight or flight. This is that moment where something happens and you choose to whether investigate, like fight through it, or, run away. So ladies, I warn you, this one is going to scare you, but you're going to love it at the same time. All right. So here we go. Our fight or flight moment. I'm leaving our crew up over here so they can pay very close attention. I want you to watch.
So help me. If somebody pops up right in the front here after a minute, I'm gonna poke you right through the screen.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, if I have nightmares, I'm calling you when I wake up in the middle of the night.
I promise you, you will, just pay very close attention, okay?
All right.
They're talking about me, you sexy thing, sorry. This is one of them. EW, so help me God, EW.
Nobody's popping out, trust me.
I don't want to see porn either.
It's not porn. Just pay very close attention. Watch the girl. Watch the girl. So, did you catch it?
Everybody's worst nightmare.
I think I did.
It's everybody's worst nightmare.
Wow.
Leave it to you, EW.
No, my favorite part is like for Tam and Annie. What if your husband was so kind to do this dance for you?
I would kill him.
Why would you kill him?
If that happened to him, I'd kill him.
What if he didn't know?
I'd still try to kill his ass.
Oh my God, where did he go?
Oh God, EW.
Oh, the best part is anyone who's rewatching this, it's going to be seeing this big old shit stain on the back of somebody's ass. Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
You are horrible.
And this is what I was waiting for this whole time from last week.
No. I'm saving that one. Unless you really want me to give it to you. Let me go back and pull it up.
Nightmares of shitting yourself. That would be
Yeah.
Oh, you are absolutely right,
watching
Annie.
this video back and taking note of what his
Unless you sneeze or cough or something.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
right.
I've had that happen. It's like, oh.
I think we all.
Everybody has, so yeah.
I think that's a human function.
Yeah.
Okay, so this video again. We'll put the links in YouTube down below. So because we don't own the rights to these videos, but we wanted to share them with you, especially a nice funny one.
We noticed he said we wanted. We had no idea.
Yeah,
We
We had
girls.
nothing to
Us
do with
girls
had no
did not
idea.
have any part of it.
Uh-huh.
that man. Whoop, wait a minute. That guy in the corner.
That guy there had
Him
all
right
of it.
there.
That guy. She's pointing to this guy.
That one.
How do I? That guy right there.
There you go.
There you
All
go.
right. So this video, though, this is a real video. This is a paranormal investigator, and I'm sorry, I still got some tears in my eyes from laughing. This video, it tells you why you don't, and I stress that very, very importantly, why you do not investigate by yourself. Right?
Right.
I don't go anywhere by myself.
Yeah, I mean, you don't do a paranormal investigation by yourself.
Mm-mm.
So, Nuke's Top 5 has this in there, and I want you guys to check this video out. Now, it is a little lengthy. It's probably going to be about 5 minutes. No, it doesn't have anything that jumps out, but he caught something on camera that was phenomenal. And what's going on, you'll hear it. You hear the narrator in here talking about everything. Plus, you hear the investigator. Unfortunately, the investigator's talking in Spanish. But don't worry, because the narrator will help get you through that.
Okay.
So we're going to go full-fledged on that.
All right.
So we don't have to worry about anyone's reactions. But I want you to pay very close attention to this because, man, to catch something like this on camera, I wish there was a way I could get that actual footage.
Mhm.
So if Nukes finds out that we did this and they can get the footage for us, the original footage, please share it with us because I really would like to get the original footage to see, break it down a little bit more, and you'll understand what I mean. So
Okay.
here we go. We're going straight into this video.
viewers pointed out, he has no idea what he captured.
This is
To
not
this
it.
day, the shadowy figure is a complete mystery. Could it be the tragic spirit of Anne Sophie still in her failed bed and breakfast?
This is the end of
Let me know what you think.
the number 4.
Right
Here's number
behind you.
5.
Paranormal investigator Ricky Velasquez is challenged to explore an abandoned house in Mexico that is said to be extremely haunted. Ricky's fans don't think he'll be able to stay inside the creepy home for longer than an hour. So Ricky takes the challenge and broadcasts live to YouTube as he heads inside the house. He has no idea why the location might be haunted or what dark history might have taken place there. But he soon realizes that the supernatural rumors about the house might be a bit more real than he thought.
Okay, esto sí me huele mal.
Ricky has been inside for only 18 minutes when he already begins to experience strange phenomena. Somewhere inside the house, he hears a loud bang. So he heads upstairs and continues his exploration.
Hola. Ay, güey. Ok. Pero me ha tocado cosas más feas. ¿Qué es un balcón o qué? Un balconcito. no, ya valí madre. Oh, la bestia. Se va a caer. No. Dios. ¿Qué mierda es eso?
The paranormal investigator almost falls through the ceiling to the floor below. But that's not the only thing that shocked Ricky's live viewers. Because this time, did you hear it? Right before Ricky nearly falls through the floor, an eerie voice can be heard quietly whispering.
Qué gusto está, ¿verdad?
Still on the second floor, Ricky begins to repeatedly hear strange sounds coming from right behind him. But every time he turns around, no one there. He attempts to get a glimpse at what he's been hearing by pointing the camera at himself and the room behind him.
No mames. Ok, creo que me está dando pánico. Aquí hay algo más.
Ricky now hears the creepy whispering himself and starts to think that he might not be alone. But he gathers his courage, determined to continue exploring. He heads into the upstairs bathroom, and what happens next is absolutely horrifying.
Hola. Empiezo a sentir helado. ¿Qué se escuchó? Hola.
Ricky runs away in abject terror as he sees the pale figure of a woman standing right behind him. When slowing down and enhancing the footage, it almost looks like the strange apparition has one completely empty white eye.
Okay, so
Wow.
this is a real investigation. This is not a hoax. I've always said, if you're going to do an investigation, you do it with a team.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So many things can go wrong with this. One, you already saw on a construction site, he could have fallen through that floor, and that would have been very bad. Nobody been to go and help him. The only advantage he had was he was broadcasting live while he was doing this.
Right.
The other part was you could see him keep checking behind him. He physically was hearing this, which is considered a Class A voice phenomenon when you physically hear it. But he never saw anything, and you could see he kept doing the camera. A little bit before they get this spot, you could see a shadow behind him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was as much as they were going to do until he captured that.
That's creepy.
Yeah. So, fight or flight?
Like, run,
Yeah.
run.
I'd probably do an investigation outside the house where you can physically find out what was going on there. If there was a murder.
Oh, there
all
would be a
that stuff.
definite investigation outside, whether I need a new pair of drawers or not.
Right.
You'd end up like with the first guy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it would look like the first guy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, first of all, I wouldn't go into a vacant building by myself. You know, that would be the first thing. I mean, and a lot of people do it. So, and you see all the news articles and reports about people dying, paranormal investigators dying, even going in as a team into some of these places that they think are haunted, but that they have to, what do you call it? But that they don't have permission, right? Nobody knows that they're there or anything like that, or they're not, there's no trespassing signs and stuff like that. And a lot of times, well, it's somebody's private property, right? Their personal property. That'd be like me, going out and somebody they want to just come into my house,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, you don't do that because you don't know the layout, especially at night, right? And,
Right.
you can't see what's going on, but everybody likes to go ooh because there's bumps in the night when you can
Mhm.
actually get possibly more during the daylight,
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. But yeah, you never should if you're not familiar with the place or you're not seasoned enough. I mean, you should always have at least one other person with you.
Yeah.
Anywhere, it doesn't matter where you go. You need to go with. And when I say team, I mean two at least, but
3 at most.
Yeah.
In that Nuke's top 5 I was looking at, there was a couple of others that were really interesting. So that's why I want to share the entire link for it so everyone can go and take a look at it. Because in one of the investigations, an Asian gentleman is doing an investigation, and he's scared out for the same reason. Something's in there that he just can't see or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
As he's leaving, he captures, but he doesn't know about it. It's his viewers that actually tell him. As he's leaving, a pair of legs are starting to come down from the ceiling behind him.
Ooh.
And I mean, but like I said, he didn't know, and he did this by himself.
Yep. Mm-mm. Can't do it.
You don't. You just don't do that.
Mm-mm.
But people still think they can do it and they're okay. And Lord forbid somebody is, squatting in the building or something.
Yeah.
And you scare them, they could kill you. I mean, there is some dangers. We're not talking necessarily, one-sided dangers. We're talking about physical dangers in those cases.
Yeah.
The only thing I would love to do is I'd like to see if we could ever get Ricky Velasquez on here one day and find out if he's had any
other ones.
No, any activity after that, like attachment wise, because I think I would almost see if it's gotten to that extent while he was there might be an attachment.
Yeah. I
mean, and that's another thing you got to be careful with playing around doing things like that, especially if you don't know what you're doing.
Mm-mm.
So
even if you do know what you're doing, you still have to be careful,
Yeah.
Nobody's ever 100% because there's always some reason we forget something or, there's not going to be 100% every time. So people don't realize the seriousness of it. So, the main point is don't investigate one property. You don't know what it is. You've never been in it before, especially if you don't have permission to be in it. You need to know a little bit of history of the house. How long has it been vacant? Because you got squatters. And those squatters take, their turf pretty seriously.
Yes, they do.
Especially if they're doing drugs or whatever,
Yes, they do.
So yeah, you should never, especially nowadays.
Yeah. Annie, I know that you had some wonderful questions, deja vu type questions for Miss Renee.
Oh yeah, but I don't have my notes here. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to get you back, Renee, for that.
There you go.
Because I've been doing this thing for a couple months now about deja vu. No, there's not only deja vu, there's other kind of vus, and what is that word I'm thinking of?
It wasn't the vu we saw earlier during the striptease, was it?
No, not that
No.
too.
Are you thinking of like lucid dreaming?
Well, what is it's? I'm trying to think of the word, and I can't recall it right now. When people, okay, like for example, uh, kind of like a parallel universe
Mm-hmm.
where Sex in the City or Sex and the City, people think it's one thing and it's another thing, and um, like for me, for an example, when what is his? See, my head is not working very well. Laurence
Well,
Olivier died. I had thought he already died. I heard that he had died years ago. Well, this was back in the '90s, late '90s or something. But it's something that you think it is, but it really isn't.
are you
Or
talking
maybe
about the
in an
Mandela
alternate
effect?
universe, it is. But I can't think of the word off the top of my head.
Sarah says Mandela effect.
That's it. Thank you. God bless you, Sarah. That's what I'm talking about. I've been working on this thing for a while.
Yeah. I mean, the Mandela effect is another. We are doing a full on show with that, and so we got to have Renee in for that one too, to discuss that because we want to get your opinions on it, especially on some of the questions that she has. So since she doesn't have her notes with her, I don't want to.
I'll just have to come back.
Yep,
Yes.
we'll just have to get you back. Well, let me give you a news article that actually came out, believe it or not, this month. And paranormal hunters beware. This is the actual headline. Police warn Sebring's abandoned Kenilworth Lodge is off limits to the living. This is the actual headline, that they are saying that it's off limits to the living. Apparently, this is a lodge that has some pretty interesting hauntings. While the article is very short, I did want to share some of the pictures that they have of this place because it's stunning. It is beautiful, but then you see probably my belief as to why they don't want people going. So this is the lodge before, back in the old time, in the times, and you can see this is currently inside. I don't know how dated these pictures are. It was built in 1916.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's over 100 years old.
Right.
But there was fire code violations, and apparently all the guests were booted out, never to return. So you can see some, beautiful pictures from the past.
Right.
But look at some of you can see just trash everywhere. It still has everything that they had when it was operating, but people, beautiful times and stuff, but people have just destroyed it. And this is why I'm thinking the police have basically said no more. Nobody can go in there. Take a look at this. Doesn't that just make you sad?
That is very sad.
I mean, it's a beautiful looking hotel. And I want to know what their fire code violations are, because I can see, sprinkler systems in the roof.
Yeah.
But they might not be up to code, or it might be not enough exits. It could be no signs of exiting at each room, in each door. It could be many things.
Right.
Really old wiring.
It could be some of the wiring. It could be
asbestos
in the walls, asbestos. It could be anything.
Well, I mean, that it lasted up to 2016, 100 years. Some of that stuff would be grandfathered. Now, asbestos is not that hard for them to go in and replace and take care of. I think, what was it, back in the 80s, a lot of businesses got some kind of financial assistance to actually get rid of asbestos.
Yeah.
So I don't think, the article mentioned fire code violations. So, again, it's just the only other thing I could think of would be the wiring. But if they've updated the lighting, because I see ceiling fans and new lights in there, and just this picture alone, I would think that they've had to have upgraded the wiring as well. Just
Not
because
necessarily.
you
And
start
it could even be the sprinkler systems, EW. Maybe they're not even working sprinkler systems.
and that's a possibility.
Maybe there's not enough smoke detectors or whatever. I mean, it could be a combination of all of that where the owner's like, I don't have the money to do it now, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Because the fines are pretty big. They're pretty hefty.
Yeah, they are. I know it is a historical landmark. Let me go back up here and show you that. As you can see, it is a historical landmark. So the building won't get torn down. And, as you can see just by the second headline right there in the picture itself, ghost hunters asked to stop breaking into the lodge. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So it is one of those situations where, if you're going to do an investigation, you've got to get permission. You got to ask the property, owners or something. Don't just walk in and do that.
Yeah.
It's not especially
for one thing.
Yes, it is. And then another thing is, we've said already, we don't know what squatters are hiding in there. We don't know if you go up to one of the other floors, how safe is it?
Right.
It's been vacant, now for 5 years. Nobody's been doing any kind of repairs on it that we can see by the pictures. Nobody's been doing any kind of upkeep to make sure it's safe by just those pictures alone. So there's a lot more dangers than just
right.
So
and just because they're a historical home, when they've got to be brought up to code still, even though they are a historical landmark, they still have to be brought up to code to modernization.
Yeah.
And while keeping it in the historical part, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. And see, that wasn't Renee cursing.
Oh, love it.
Anyway, so all right, so there it is. We got show number 1 of the new season in the bag. We will be bringing in more, more topics, more episodes. This is kind of a we got to play with our last season in the virtual world, in the video world. So here we go. We get to keep doing it. But because of it, we're talking about bringing back another show, just similar to what we just did, except it had a lot of other hilarious moments, like naked. So,
oh, my favorite.
Yes. So we're gonna look at a day of the week to try to plan it out, but it won't be every week, folks. It'll probably be maybe once a month right now. Only because it takes a lot of research and a lot of time of trying to get everybody's schedules on the same situation. So, any teasers for next week?
Got any teasers?
No,
Sure?
no teasers. No teasers.
Drat.
I could, but nah. We'll leave it
Like
be.
surprises.
I do. I do have a top 10 for next week.
Oh, that's.
I wanted to use it this week because one of them is a topic that Renee would love to be a part of. So, guess we might have to save that top 10 for the next time we have Renee on.
Right?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it is that time to head out, and we will see you guys next time. Don't forget, you can listen to shows and music on TMV Cafe. But for the most part, y'all have a great night. We'll see y'all next time.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.